Am I the asshole for kicking my mom out after ruining our engagement announcement? TBH, I don't know why this is being turned against us, but doesn't hurt to know from others if this was really an asshole moment or family being family. I, 25M, have been with my fiancée Tanya, 25 female, for 5 years. My mom never approved of Tanya, all because she has an 8-year-old son, Alex. Yeah, she did have him young. We dated for a year and a half before she was comfortable with me meeting Alex. Me and him have been best friends ever since. Seriously, I love that kid to death. And that's the issue my mom has. She doesn't like that I'm close with Alex, so she says stupid jokes or comments how Tanya shouldn't be tying me down with a kid and maybe she should get his real dad to do that. She thinks Tanya as this stereotypical teen mom whose baby daddy bailed when that's not it at all. Alex's dad passed away while she was pregnant. It deeply traumatized her since she saw it happen and never was comfortable sharing that because it's too painful to talk about. I figured this was her story to tell, and if she didn't want to say anything I wouldn't either. Never told my mom, but always told her she needed to stop talking that way about Tanya, and for the most part she did whenever she saw how it pisses me off. It's been a constant thing with her no matter how many times I fight with my mom over it. Last weekend we had my parents over to our apartment along with my sister, and we announced we're getting engaged. Everyone else was happy for us, but OFC my mom had to go and ruin it with a passive-aggressive joke. I guess you couldn't find Alex's dad after all. Seriously, when we were all just celebrating, she went and killed it. That was it for me. Tanya wasn't happy either. Can't say almost everything I said because of character limit, but basically said for years she never respected my relationship or Tanya when she never did anything wrong. She raised a great kid that I love and they're going to be a part of my life. So if she can't accept that or respect my future wife, then she needs to leave my apartment. Everyone was very serious and my mom just got up and left mad. I apologized to my dad. He told me he's sorry too. Only person left was my sister, and she had a lot to say about kicking my own mom out. She agreed my mom was horrible, but that's not how you do things. I retold the rest of this to my cousins and also my best friend, who all sort of feel the same way. My mom hasn't actually apologized, and I've heard from my dad that she's telling everyone how disrespectful I'm being and how embarrassing it felt to be kicked out of my apartment. I feel like I'm losing it here. I don't get how it's so wrong when she had the choice to stay and accept that I'm getting married and respect my fiancé. Was I really an asshole in any way in this situation? It feels weird having to ask, but here we are. You are definitively not the asshole. Words have meaning. Actions have consequence. She said something horrible and deserves the most simple consequence of being asked to leave. What a disgusting thing for her to have done. Edit. You didn't even kick her out. You gave her an opportunity to reframe her thoughts and she left. You are so not in the wrong here, op. Congrats on the engagement. Not the asshole. I'm sorry. That sounds terrible. Your mom was way out of line, no matter what her motivations were or what knowledge she had regarding your fiancé. Congrats on your engagement. It sounds like you and Tanya will have some big challenges ahead of you. One observation moving forward. Protect Alex at all costs, especially with regard to your mother. Not the asshole. Stand up for your fiancé and your kid. Your mom sounds really disrespectful and rude, and neither you, Tanya, or Alex should have to put up with that shit. Not the asshole. You gave her many chances to clean up her behavior. If your mom still has the audacity to behave so poorly, she deserves to be told off. You would have been the asshole if you didn't stand up for your future wife and son. Not the asshole. Do not let your mom come to the wedding unless she apologizes and learns to respect your fiancé. Not the asshole. Your mom had 5 years to smarten up and stop being a snarky bee, but rather than work on building a relationship with her future daughter-in-law and grandson, she decided she would rather play the wronged party. She's not. Your fiancé and your stepson deserve better than this, so kudos for standing up to her. I think a serious heart-to-heart with just you and your calm is a necessity so you can tell her exactly how ridiculous and disrespectful she has been. From that chat, make your decision on if you will be letting her attend the wedding. Oh, and congrats on your engagement. Not the asshole, she doesn't get to say disrespectful shit to your fiancé and act like the victim. Good for doing what was needed. Not the asshole. Your mom is being super awkward and doesn't even have the social skills to just ask about the birth father. Please follow up when she finds out he passed away and she's been making an ass of herself for years. Not the asshole. When there's a choice of standing up to family or for family, we should always go to be on the side of the wronged one, particularly when they're also the one most in need of support. Sounds like Tanya and Alex are lucky. This could have been avoided by telling your mom that the kid's dad is dead. Instead of having a conversation like a normal person which could protect your fiancé, the type of things people tell each other all the time to prepare others for appropriate social context, you hide behind, it's her story to tell. Yeah, sure, but where has this strategy gotten you? Not just this instance, but over years. A quick, hey, FYI, Alex's dad passed away so don't mention him, is all it would have taken. Is your mom in awe? Yeah, but a lot of this could have been avoided. You've basically enabled the abuse of your fiancé for no reason other than you're stupid. I figured it's her story to tell, philosophy. Not the asshole for kicking her out, but in 5 years you've never told her why Alex's father is not present or paying support. It's like you're setting your mom up to question that. If my son dated a woman with a kid, I'd definitely ask about the father. Yet you didn't do as much as say, there was a tragedy and she can't talk about it. Instead for 5 years you let mom think there's a mystery dad floating around. Yes, mom was rude and should have been thrown out. But you never answered her perfectly reasonable question about a woman you dated for 5 years. You could have ended this years ago but you didn't and now have unnecessary drama. So you are the asshole for that. Not the asshole. Congrats in starting to set the boundaries she clearly needs. Not the asshole, you've set a hard boundary with your mother now and she's throwing a tantrum. It's good that you've done this now instead of letting her continue to behave badly towards Tanya in the years to come when you're married. A man should be the buffer between his mother and fiancé, wife and set the boundaries when and where they're needed. Your mother will likely make it difficult, but stick to this demand for respect and civil behavior from her. Yes, Tanya was a young mother, but that doesn't mean she's a bad person. In fact, I have a lot of respect for Tanya for waiting as long as she did before introducing you to her child. To me that means that child is more important to her than anything else and she's was protecting him from possible heartache or weirdos. Not the asshole, you stuck up for your family. It's 2020, people need to get out of the all single teen moms need to trap a guy. Your mother acted disrespectful towards you and your significant Otheran child. I would have done the same thing. Let her tell who she wants, and if the rest of your family is happy for your mother to speak whatever way she wants your family, then cut them out too. I figured this was her story to tell, and if she didn't want to say anything I wouldn't either. Honestly, I think it would have been better if you had a quiet word in private with your mother some time ago, along the lines of, the father is deceased not absent, and my girlfriend doesn't like to talk about it, so please stop running your mouth off on that topic. Although, your mother could have asked instead of assuming, she could have taken the hint, she could have respected your fiancé anyway, etc., etc. Not the asshole. Your mother chose to rain on your parade. Not the asshole. I usually find that a simple, yet stern, eat shit, will suffice most of the time. Your mother, because of the obvious end at everyone saying op, should have just told her the circumstances. It wasn't her business, and she shouldn't have to know her DIL's trauma to be a decent person. But honestly, you are the asshole for subjecting your fiancé and Alex to this shit for so long. It seems like this is the most egregious thing she's said, but you've given your mother way too many chances, for something that was mean and nasty the very first time she said it. Instead you've continued to hope she'd change her behavior, and your fiancé has been hurt for it. Not the asshole. Your mother is acting like a giant child who bullies others, then throws a tantrum and plays victim when she gets caught. And the people who are pulling the family is family card need silence themselves. If my mom acted like this, I'd tell her she's no longer allowed to talk to me until she starts acting like an adult and apologizes for her rude behavior. Not the asshole. You did absolutely the right thing. In a lot of families there is this mindset that parents, senior relatives can do or say whatever they like and be allowed to get away with it. As if they deserve to be respected even when they don't respect you. They don't. Side note, I'd love to know why she thinks the child she raised is stupid, as that's what she's implying by so clearly disrespecting your decisions. I get talking to you earlier in a relationship, privately, if you're sure about the person, but when it's clear you are, carrying on disapproval is a personal insult not just to your fiancé but to you as well. Info: has anyone told your mom that Alex's dad died? Not the asshole. However, I think you might discuss with Tanya the possibility of providing her that background information so that she stops embarrassing herself and yourself as well. She is the A, not you. It would be kind gesture, even if she doesn't deserve it. Not the asshole. The entitlement of your mother to think because she gave birth to you she gets to treat your girlfriend like this is astounding. It's also astounding how others make excuses and try to blame the person who reacted rather than addressing the person who actually pulled the trigger, usually because it's easier to do that. If your cousin's family turned around and told your mom she was out of line, would it have any impact? Or are they choosing the easy way out? Either way, this is ultimately between you, your fiancé, and your mom. Your mom has behaved appallingly, even if she found out about the father's death now. It would be your fault for not telling her as opposed to her fault for her behavior being prejudiced and presuming the worst. You did the right thing. Tell your mom to do one. You are the asshole for letting your mom talk shit to about that poor girl for 5 years. It isn't your story to tell, but I'm side-eyeing the hell out of you. You can drop that bit of information on the internet but not drop it on your mom to shut her up and defend your girlfriend. You've let her think this way about her for 5 years without correcting her. Not the asshole. Your mother deserved to be disrespected, embarrassed and kicked out of your house for her disgusting behaviors. Congratulations on your engagement. Not the asshole, and I wish you a happy marriage untainted by people who expect you to put up with horrible abusive behavior and just because it's family. Family is a privilege, not a right. Not the asshole. I don't understand your sister here. I mean, how were you supposed to handle it? How much verbal abuse from your mother is your fiancé supposed to take? Is your mother not an adult? Does she have some sort of mental illness that prevents her from filtering what comes out of her mouth? She knows what she said was wrong and horrible, and as long as you put up with it, she'll keep doing it because she has no consequences. Your duty is to your wife and son, not protecting your mother from the consequences of her own actions. NTA, but your mom must know that the ex passed away, so why would she ask such an insensitive and stupid question to begin with? Not the asshole, and what the fuck are your family and friends smoking? You had absolutely every right to demand she leaves your apartment if she can't respect you and your fiancé. Your mom seems like the type of person that will never see any flaws in themselves. Nothing will ever be her fault, it'll always be someone else's. Your fiancé doesn't deserve that toxicity, and her son definitely doesn't deserve it. Your mom needs to either shape up or ship out. And the friends and family that say you're wrong can fuck off, too. Had you literally put her in a slingshot and launched her out the apartment, you wouldn't be Not the asshole. Your mother has to face the consequences of her own choices. That's not your fault. You tried to help her avoid this situation and she refused. I hope you and Tanya can enjoy your engagement, and that you both and Alex have a happy and loving family together. I mean, you're right. Clearly not the asshole. I think deciding on a message together and sending it, saying it to everyone giving you crap, mainly your sister, would be smart, and a separate text to your mother about boundaries. Just know Mill would be a great place to get info on that. Not the asshole, but I don't understand that fact that your family has no idea that Alex's biological father died. Your reasoning for not telling your family after 5 years seems suspect, emo. But with that said, your response was right on the money. Your mother taking disrespectful jabs is crazy. Not the asshole. Your mom acted the fool, and from what you've said, has been doing so for years. She got what was coming to her, and it sounds richly deserved. Nothing to apologize for in my book. Not the asshole. And what the fuck is wrong with some women? I am a grandma, and if one of my kids proposed to someone with a child, my immediate reaction would be, I get another grandchild if this kid accepts me as such. Congratulations on making a new family and your future life. Not the asshole. She agreed my mom was horrible, but that's not how you do things. That's exactly how you do things in that situation. Well done. Not the asshole. Tanya and Alex are your family now, and you absolutely should be putting them first above all other family members. If your mom can't treat Tanya with respect, then she should not be a part of your life anymore, because it's not fair to keep exposing Tanya and Alex to that abusive behavior. Not the asshole. Had you not stood up to your mom, you would have been the asshole here. I think it's time that the situation regarding Alex's dad is told to your mom, then she needs to be told to think about her disgraceful behavior. And that she will not be allowed back in your lives until she has made a heartfelt apology for how disrespectful she has been to both you and your fiancé. Not the asshole, at all. However, I do think it's a bit strange that the fact that Alex's dad passed away is some huge secret. It's not that your mother has any rights to that information, but this is a part of Alex's history and it's being treated as almost shameful. I feel for Tanya and what she went through. No one is asking her to relive that moment in excruciating detail. If she can't handle people knowing Alex's dad tragically passed away while Tanya was pregnant, it was very hard and traumatic for her and she doesn't like talking about it, then she might need some grief counseling. Not the asshole. Good for you to stand up to her. Not the asshole. Did your mom think about how embarrassing that was for you and especially Tanya? I don't think you did anything wrong, but in my value system, being family gets you a big fat free pass to nowhere. Not every family is like that. Not the asshole. She disrespected you both, and she embarrassed herself. She got herself thrown out. This is entirely on her. Not the asshole. If she didn't want to be kicked out, she shouldn't have said anything worthy of being kicked out for. She didn't say something that was accidentally hurtful. This was intentional, and from the sounds of it she's been doing that for years. I'm sorry you are going through that, and I think you did well in standing up for your fiancé and soon-to-be stepson. I hope your mom one day, hopefully soon, realizes her mistake and that you too, along with your fiancé, can mend the relationship. Not the asshole. The only thing I would question is withholding the fact that Alex's dad passed away. Of course, your mom shouldn't need that to accept Tanya or Alex into the family. But her knowing that fact will hopefully hit her like a ton of bricks on the head, highlighting for her how much of an asshole she has been. It then might lead her to an apology and sincere acceptance of Tanya and her son. Not the asshole. Now go no contact because your mom is being in a hole. Not the asshole, but kinda an asshole move to just not tell your family that the baby daddy is dead. That really is kind of a game changer. In a positive direction, your mother would drop that line of comments and could possibly change your mother's opinion. Not the asshole, but I think it's at the point where both you and Tanya need to be honest about the situation, about Alex's dad. And how painful your mom is making this situation. Not the asshole, but I was waiting for the part where you gave her an address to his grave. Okay, that might be stepping into the childish zone, but she had 5 years to accept the relationship but chooses not to. That is not how a respectable adult should be acting. Congratulations on your engagement, and I hope all things go well with your family. Not the asshole, because your mother sounds insufferable. However, 4 simple words 5 years ago could have solved all of this. His dad is dead. You don't have to give the entire story if you're so dead set on nobody knowing it, but that little bit of communication would have been enough. Not the asshole. Your mom couldn't hold her tongue to let you have a happy moment. The good thing is that you have shown your fiancé and her son that you choose them. They are your family too. Not the asshole, but she needs to know Alex's dad is dead. She's still being an asshole, but that context 100% changes things. It shouldn't, but it does. Telling her will protect your fiancé and stepson from her cruelty.